when you're the type that has a small frame, naturally small bone structure, you can put your fingers around your wrist and still have room to see that. See that? If you can wrap your fingers around your wrist and there's still space, that means that you have small wrists. That means that your wrist structure is small. I went through the usual routine of doing my heavy compound lifts, this time being deadlift, going for the 455, which I got for a 1 rep max a couple of weeks ago. So then I go for it for 2 reps now, trying to get the 1 rep max. And then sure enough, on this day, of course, I did get it for 2 reps, which was a goal. So mission accomplished there. But the point of this video is, does heavy workouts, lifting heavy weights, work better for naturally skinny people like myself, for ectomorphs, than it does for anybody else? That's the best way to do it when you are an ectomorph. The lighting's a little weird today, but I don't care. I'm still doing this. Let me tell you why lifting heavy is among the better ways to really gain muscle, especially gain muscle faster for naturally skinny people, for hard gainers, the hard gainer types, the ectomorphs. So when you are an ectomorph, naturally skinny type of person, the body has a higher metabolism. You have a naturally high metabolism, and it's also less effective at storing calories. And on top of that, which I learned the hard way, ectomorph hard gainer types don't respond much to the pump only high repetition, where you're working for the pump, where you're trying to rep out doing 15, 20 reps to try to get the pump, to try to chase that pump. That's what I mean by pump only workouts. Naturally skinny people don't respond well to that workout. The most obvious reason is because there's not a lot of natural muscle to even get pumped up in the first place. And like I said, naturally skinny people don't hold on. The body is not efficient at holding on to carbs and calories. So a lot of what gives you a good pump relies on how many carbs you can store in your body, along with fluid retention and just everything else that you consume. The pump that you can get relies on how much of the macronutrients from the food that you get can be efficiently stored in your body. Skinny people don't store nutrients, macronutrients, very efficiently in their body after it's been digested and utilized by the body, because it's just being burned. And so that's why them high repetition type of workouts don't really give you a good, decent exercise when you are skinny. And in order to get the size, to increase your overall size, to get bigger muscles, heavy compound lifts, among other things. There's a lot of things that go into it, but heavy compound lifts do a couple of things for you. When you do focus on all the compound lifts, and especially make them at least semi-heavy, that alone creates high mechanical tension in your body, which is the #1 driver to muscle growth. It's also kind of a natural signal that your body sends out when you start to put your body under that much pressure and stress and strain. And it's a signal that your body needs more muscle to survive. And compound lifts, especially when you do them heavy, trigger a stronger testosterone and nervous system response. But this isn't after just doing these compound lifts just once or twice or a couple of weeks. This is long term when you do it consistently. That's when you start to see a stronger trigger in your testosterone, specifically testosterone, and your nervous system than you would have if you focused on smaller isolation lifts with high repetition and high frequency, chasing that pump only type of workout that I talked about earlier. That's why you'll see hard gainers finally grow when you focus on bench, squat, deadlift, rows, overhead press, overhead shoulder press. It's definitely one of the things that helped me get bigger, because of the fact that they hit multiple muscles at the same time, all in one workout. Whereas if you're doing the smaller isolation workouts, you have to hit each muscle with multiple sets, one at a time, which takes longer and is less efficient. But compound lifts hit them all at the same time. And as long as you're pushing progressive overload hard, it will give you noticeable results in your physique. And then that also goes into why naturally bigger people can grow more with higher volume. This is why you see those professional bodybuilders swear by doing high repetition type of workouts. I'm talking about the IFBB pro bodybuilders, the old school professional bodybuilders, Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, so on and so forth. #1, they're already big people. These are guys who are like 250 to 300 plus pounds. So they already got a lot of weight to work with. They already got a lot of weight and muscle to get a pump with. And so a high repetition is going to work for them because they got a lot of mass to get pumped up. And then on top of that, the steroids is making them even bigger than they. Since they're already big people, their body is efficient, better at storing calories and carbs and fluids. And that's the exact thing that I told you goes into getting a good pump. Skinny people, hard gainers, they don't store calories like that. Not efficiently anyway. They just burn right off, which is why you're skinny in the first place. Another thing, and this is important when it comes to the type of workouts that you want to focus on if you're skinny, is that high repetition, high volume workouts burn more calorie than lower volume, heavier workouts. And what's the one thing you don't want to do when you're trying to gain weight and you're just a skinny person? Is burn calories. It's not exactly cardio. It's not on the level of cardio in terms of how many calories it burns, but it's the next closest thing when it comes to working out. It's doing the high repetition stuff. These skinny people, me, everybody else who's skinny, That's not going to work. We need to gain weight. We don't need to burn any calories. We don't need to like lose weight in order to reveal the muscle underneath, because we barely have any muscle. We're trying to build the muscle. If you can wrap your fingers around your wrists and there's still space, that means that you have small wrists. That means that your wrist structure is small, which isn't the most advantageous when it comes to building a lot of muscle, but that's just how it is. As you can see, I'm like that. So for them people who are like that themselves, I'm right here with you. I'm in the same situation, but still building muscle, which is obviously what my channel is about. To build muscle the quickest and most efficient for smaller lifters, the best way to go about it is focus on, again, what I've been talking about before, the heavy compound lifts, not even like super heavy, moderately heavy. Something that you can only do from between 6 to 10 reps. 10 reps being the absolute limit. Accessory lifts in the 8 to 12 rep range, try not to go any higher than that. Tracking your strength numbers weekly, because you know how many reps you lifted or how much weight you lifted last week. You can try to beat those numbers the next week, which will give you that aspect of progressively overloading your strength. And of course, the part that a lot of us struggle with is eating in a surplus. And that part matters a lot, obviously. It can also be one of the hardest aspects to getting bigger when you're trying to lift and build a lot of muscle. Your diet matters a lot. That's like 50% of the equation when it comes to getting bigger. But if you are wondering how to build muscle after being like me, a skinny guy your whole life, and you just want to get bigger, you want to finally get jacked without watching video after video, but instead want to have a workout program and nutrition program laid out for you, I made a workout program and I made the meal plans that I use to finally build muscle. As you can see, I went from skinny but muscular to slim but even more muscular to just big. You can check out that program in the link in the description below. It gives you a 12-week workout plan, video demonstration of all the workouts that I do day by day, with written descriptions, of course, and a list of the meal plans that I follow to gain muscle and gain size. And that meal plan will be a list of foods and drinks with the macros and nutritional facts to show what food and how much food you need to get up to 4,000 calories, with plenty of healthy fats, protein, carbs, and other macros that is needed to build a muscular physique. Check out that link in the description below.